let's talk about foreign affairs, because as you probably know, in October, 130,000 Taiwanese people took part in the demonstration in Taipei, the capital of the country, with banners like "Say yes to Taiwan," "Say no to China," and "Taiwan is Taiwan." And our Polish television supported this movement and organized an action as "Say yes to Taiwan" on Poland supports Taiwan in social media, and it's spread all over the world. Thank you for supporting this action, Mr. Gomez. And even the president of Taiwan and Prime Minister of Taiwan thanked for this action. And what do you think about this movement of freedom-loving Taiwanese people who want Taiwan to proclaim a fully independence from communist China?
I think it is an absolutely wonderful idea. I personally, myself, endorse the idea wholeheartedly. I want to reiterate, say no to China, say yes to Taiwan. I love Taiwan. I love the people of Taiwan. God bless them. They have been through a lot, and the world has virtually betrayed Taiwan in favor of the Communist Party in China. This began way back in the 1940s when we had Harry Truman, again, a Democratic president in the White House, just after World War II. And you had General George C. Marshall, I believe it was, cutting off supplies and aid to the nationalist Chinese forces on the mainland continent, which aided and helped Mao Zedong's forces in the ongoing Chinese Civil War, with the communists taking over in that regard. So America betrayed mainland China in that regard. With regard to Taiwan and the Taiwanese people, we have seen the United States support a one China policy, which says we only accept there's one China, except the way the U.S. does it is it's not one China, two states for the United States. The United States is clearly supportive of the Communist Party in China in terms of our government policy, and that's bad. We have seen how U.S. presidents do not have diplomatic relations with the presidents of Taiwan because they view Taiwan as being part of the one China policy. They don't want to get the Chinese mad. Fortunately, our government still sells arms to Taiwan, and if Taiwan was not a sovereign, independent country, then you wouldn't be selling arms to it, right? The United States would not be selling arms to a province in Canada to protect itself from the Canadian government. The U.S. wouldn't be selling arms to Quebec, for example. But the U.S. does sell arms to Taiwan because the United States has a defense treaty with Taiwan. And I think it's important that Taiwan reclaim its sovereignty, because right now Taiwan is treated like it doesn't exist. It's just the People's Republic of China. And it behooved Taiwan to be independent, to break itself apart from communist rule, from a Chinese identity, because Taiwan has its own culture, its own rich history. And the people of Taiwan, they want their identity to be recognized. So I fully support Taiwan's move to be a sovereign, independent republic apart from any influence from China. Absolutely. That's a great idea.
I would like to show you our magazine, Go Against the Tide, and there is our action in Facebook. You can join. I'm telling to our viewers, you can join this action on Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah. Say yes to Taiwan, say no to China, and
Amen.
And do you think that President Donald Trump will support the independence of Taiwan?
Well, the great thing about President Trump in terms of the issue of Taiwan was after he won the election for the presidency, he spoke with the Taiwanese president over the phone. And of course, many in the American media were really upset, especially the Democrats, but even some establishment neoconservative Republicans. Oh, no, this is terrible. This is breaking the one China policy. This is going to get the communist leadership, Xi Jinping, all upset that President Trump was having dialogue, at the time President-elect Trump, having dialogue with the Taiwanese president. I think that President Trump is going to be a strong ally for freedom, for liberty, in terms of Taiwan's independence from China. I don't know if there will be some kind of war that develops from this. Hopefully not. No one wants anyone to die, but hopefully Taiwan can become independent, fully independent from China, and with the defense treaties that the United States has in place with Taiwan, hopefully China would not attack Taiwan and would let Taiwan be Taiwan.
And we are just talking before the program that our Polish embassy created a very bad note about the Taiwan because one communist journalist asked our embassy to how to say.
No, to say what is the Polish opinion about opinion of our government about our private social action, and Polish embassy in China,
Beijing,
make announcement to the communist newspaper Global Times, I think, in China, and they said that Poland strongly support the agreement between our communist leader from 1939 with Mao Zedong, and that this Polish government, which is led by so-called patriotic and conservative party, has completely agree with this communist agreement. So it was very upsetting. It's shame on you, this this embassy.
So
absolutely, that reminds me of when President Richard Nixon, a Republican, but a globalist Republican, a bad Republican actually, when he visited communist China, reporters asked United States Senator Barry Goldwater, a conservative, constitutional Republican, a very good conservative, they asked Senator Goldwater, what do you think about President Nixon being in China right now? And Goldwater told the reporters that something to the effect of, good, he should stay there, hope he doesn't come back, something like that. And, that's unfortunately been the position of our government as well. We have the Republican president, Richard Nixon, in the 1970s, supposedly an anti-communist, supposed to be the patriotic sort of president in our country. And he was the one that opened the dialogue with Mao Zedong and the Communist Party regime there in Moscow. I'm sorry, in Beijing. Oh, there's communists in Moscow too, even now. But with the communists in Beijing, open dialogue with them, and essentially threw Taiwan under the bus. It's funny how your Polish ambassador says that your country supports the agreement made decades ago, but how about they have a national referendum? How about they ask the people of Poland what the people of Poland think? Should Poland have diplomatic relations with communist China, or should it also have relations with diplomatic relations with Taiwan? Let the Polish people decide. And I don't think the Polish people are probably going to side with what the government line is. And because your country especially, having known what communist oppression was, why have trade? Why have diplomatic negotiations with an ally of the former Soviet Union, an ally of the country that helped oppress millions of your people? So I would imagine that the people of Poland do not support one China. People of Poland probably stand with a free and independent anti-communist Taiwan Republic.
There is a lot of support from our Polish viewers. This action, which I mentioned, is very big, and Taiwanese and American media told about it, but Polish media are silent.
Yeah. Because
Polish controlled by government media, of course. Not free media.
The deep state globalists don't want to talk about certain things.
Yeah. Thank you for these words, especially in the name of Taiwanese people. And we ask everybody to support and to join this action, say yes to Taiwan.